Thanks everyone for joining us today for call here with Curtis Jacobs. If you could please all mute your microphones. And then if you have a question for Curtis, please use the raise hand feature. I will call on you to unmute and then you can ask Curtis your question. Rich Garcella.
Morning, Curtis. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
No problem.
What is your assessment of the Auburn running game through their first two games and Tank Bigsby in particular?
Obviously they're a really great running team. We got to bring our hard hats on Saturday. In my opinion, I think they have three really good backs. I just started watching film on them yesterday and Sunday, and I know they got Tank and the kid Jaquez Hunter. They're both really good. But I also saw the kid number 22. I haven't seen his name yet, but he's also a burner. He's really good. So we're definitely gonna have to strap up our hard hats and come with our A game on Saturday.
Daniel Gallen.
Good morning, Curtis. Just wanted to get your thoughts. 2 games under Manny Diaz. What's it been like to play in his defense, and what do you think about his scheme kind of maximizes what you're able to do?
I think the scheme has been great. It just allows you to play aggressive, always erring on the side of being aggressive. So you could do certain things and you could not really. It's like you could have certain technical areas, but as long as you're aggressive, it'll work out in the grand scheme of the defense. Obviously, we need to create more havoc out there, getting our hands on the ball more, more interceptions, more forced fumbles, just create more havoc and disrupting more offenses. But I feel like we've been good through the first 2 games.
Joe Smeltzer.
Hey, Curtis. How beneficial do you think it is going into Auburn, being that just 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks ago, you played at Purdue and had a big game to start out the season that not a lot of teams get in week 1 or the first few weeks?
It's really just being in that hostile environment. I think we have a lot of experience with that, especially on the defense. Just having guys that are able to go out there and tune all of that out and just play football. And that's really important because we got some of the young guys that experience early. So now it's not our first time going out and being in that environment in this type of game.
Max Ralph.
Hey, Curtis, appreciate your time. I'm wondering in regards to Kobe and Kalen, how you think those two are different this year in year 2 compared to where they were last year?
Maturity. I think they both matured very, very well. It's just that aspect of growing up playing football. Like you start as a freshman, you're just out there playing for real. You're doing what you did in high school, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But when you get that level of maturity where you're in watching film, you're seeing tendencies, and those tendencies are holding true while you're playing, like that's incredibly important to somebody's game. And I feel like that's been big for their development, both of those guys.
Andrew Destin.
Curtis, Tyler Elsdon said after the game that Abdul Carter has been asking a lot of questions. Does he come to you with them at all? And if so, what's he been asking? And how would you evaluate his development kind of here in year 1?
He just I'm not gonna lie, that kid is so impressive, man. He wants to get better every day, and he comes to practice with that attitude every day. And I respect it because I see a lot of myself in him. A lot of the questions he's asking are stuff that I was asking Jesse and Ellis and Brandon when I first got here. So I feel like he's doing really, really good things, and that's gonna be really beneficial for him down the road.
Frank Badani.
Curtis, this game against Auburn, how do you think it'll be different for you guys as linebackers? What kind of test is this for you? How do you become better difference makers in a game like this?
Well, obviously, this is the first test we're going to get with a team that likes to run the ball. I feel like I feel like this is the game you wanna be a part of as a linebacker. Being able to come downhill, strike, get those tackles. Like, I mean, you didn't come to Penn State to be a linebacker to watch somebody play 7-on-7 against you. So it's just it's gonna be a different type of attitude, a different type of energy. And I feel like me and my guys in the front seven, really the defense as a whole are just ready for that challenge.
John McGonigal.
Yeah, Curtis, I guess just on that, do you sense there's an excitement in the linebacker room, Leo, when you guys are looking at film of Auburn and saying like, hey, this is a real opportunity for us to show what we have, in this room, within the linebackers?
Yeah, obviously there's an excitement every week because we get in the film room every Monday and we break down. We start with what plays can help us. So like game-changing plays, interceptions, PBUs, forced fumbles, stuff like that. Just being able to envision ourselves making those game-changing plays. So it's definitely exciting when you see a team that's gonna try to run it downhill on you, and that just creates more opportunities for you as a linebacker. So of course you would be excited about that.
Tobias Wilborn.
Hey man, thanks for the time. Hope you're doing well, brother.
Mhm.
What do you notice with Auburn's two quarterback system? They have TJ Finley and Robbie Ashford, and what kind of differences do they present?
Yeah, obviously both of those quarterbacks are really good guys. I got the opportunity to play against both of them in high school as well as on this level. So it's I would say it's just a great opportunity. Those guys are gonna come out and do everything they can to win, and we're gonna do the same. So hopefully it'll be a good time reuniting with those guys.
Ron Snyder.
Hey, Curtis, thanks for the time. Just wanted to ask you, obviously you guys are motivated to win, but with all the talk coming into the season about this game, how much does it mean to you just in terms of bragging rights going against the SEC and hearing all the talk about, how good football is down there? How much do you guys talk about that amongst yourselves?
We try not to get into that. Around here we have like a 1-0 mentality. So it's just about coming in every week, and that opponent is on the clock for real. You gotta do everything you can to beat that opponent every week. And after that, we make corrections on what we did wrong, praise the stuff we did well on Sunday, and it's on to the next opponent. So I just feel like just being able to keep that 1-0 mentality in this locker room is going to be very important for us, especially coming down the road.
Daniel Gallant.
Curtis, you talked a little bit about Abdul off the field, asking questions. What have kind of been your early impressions of him on the field? I mean, to us, he looks the part. What have you kind of seen from him in game action?
Oh, he's crazy athletic. Like he's done some stuff, like especially in summer workouts. That's when I was really watching him and analyzing him. He does a lot of stuff that's just like freakish in a sense. So you just see that, and like once that kid like gets to really getting into what he needs to do to like learn tendencies and anticipate things and be able to play faster because of it, I don't think you'll be able to stop him.
Frank Badani.
Curtis, speaking about Abdul, give me an example or two of something freakish you've seen him do so we can understand what you're talking about.
Like there was one time we were doing like, I can't explain the drills, like a agility drill in the summer, and he like comes around the cone, slips, like crawls kind of, gets back on his feet, gets around the cone, and still beats the person he was competing with to like get to the finish. So like just seeing stuff like that and seeing like, obviously this kid's a hard worker. He comes in every day and works. Like just seeing stuff like that really gives you hope, kind of, because I feel like he's going to be a really good player in the Big Ten.
Joe Smeltzer.
So Curtis, what is the impact that John has had in the linebackers room thus far? Because obviously he's been a team captain 4 years, but he spent a lot of time in the safeties room. But now that he's a full-time linebacker and has started 2 games, what impact has he had just on your position group specifically?
John has been incredibly important to us. He's just a older voice in the room that just is another resource. You feel me? If I don't know the answer, he's right there, and it's been incredibly important for me because I even go to him and ask questions, and talk to him through things. So it really helps us, especially with us being a young group. So I feel like John has been like really important to our success. Really.
Tobias Wilborn.
Just as a follow-up from the question I asked earlier, what has your experience been playing against two quarterback systems, and what is just the challenge of when a team switches quarterbacks back and forth with two kind of different guys?
Obviously it's a challenge because you can't really focus on one guy because both guys have things that make them special. And for the most part, when you get those two systems, it's a throwing guy and a running guy. So that's what we really want to lock in on. But obviously, both of these quarterbacks are talented in all aspects. So obviously, it'll be a challenge this week, but we just got to get in the film room and get out and practice and rep it and just get out there and play our game.
John Petishnock.
Hey, Curtis, good morning. With Dan Connor being back with the team, Penn State's all-time leading tackler, he's a defensive analyst. Do you actually speak much with him directly? I'm just wondering, him being around the team, have you had a chance to talk with him and maybe some of the impressions that you've had from what it means to have him back with the program?
Man, that guy's a Hall of Famer. I'm gonna ask him as many questions as I can. I wanna pick his brain as much as I can because obviously that's an all-time great, and you don't get a chance to talk to many all-time greats when you're playing this game. So obviously, every time I have a question, just having him in the room has been really important because, like, even if he wasn't a defensive analyst, I'd be bombarding him with questions when he comes back. Like, you should ask Jack Ham how many questions I ask him when he comes on campus. So it's just great to have a guy like that in the room. Obviously, a great dude outside of his legacy, very humble guy, and it's just been great having him.
Daniel Gallant.
Curtis, you've had kind of a front row seat to that middle linebacker battle with Tyler and Kobe. What's been your impressions of how they've played in these first two games, and what do each of them, I guess, what do they bring to the table that's unique to them on the field?
I feel like it's been really, really good. Both guys have played their heart out and came with the right attitude all camp and through both games. I feel like Ty, he brings more of a like statistics, like studying approach. Like you could tell he knows the game. He's calling stuff out when he's out on the field, and that's very helpful. He gets downhill. He trusts the framework of the defense, so that's very important. And then Cole, he also trusts the framework of the defense. Like he's a guy that's going to really get tagged downhill and really get those TFLs and tackles. So I feel like both those guys are going to be big this season.
We do have time for a few more questions for Curtis. If anybody has anything additionally, please use the raise hand feature. I'll call on you to unmute and you can ask Curtis your question. If not, we'll let him go. Go ahead, Daniel.
Curtis, in some of those sets with 7 defensive backs, we've seen Tig come down into the box and kind of be, I guess a linebacker in those formations. What's it like having that kind of flexibility in Manny Diaz's defense, and what do you think about how Tig plays that role?
It's amazing. Obviously Tig, he's a ball hawk, very smart football player. So just being able to talk things through with him as well, that's been great. I feel like that package is going to be deadly. We really, really work the kinks out of it. So we just got to keep progressing and keep getting better every practice and every day.
Ron Snyder.
How much can a game like this prepare you guys for a bowl game down the road, playing against a really good non-conference opponent?
I feel like that could be really important. Obviously, I'm not trying to think down the road to a bowl game opportunity. It's just we got them this week, so we just gotta come out and attack it as hard as we can.
Final question, Frank Badani.
Curtis, one last one about Abdul. He seems like he got here in June and he's already seeing the field. He's going pretty quick in his progress, quicker than you even, or I mean, how is he able to get up to speed so fast? And is he going to continue to make a difference more and more right away?
Yeah, I compared it. I'm gonna be honest. I compared the kid to myself a lot. Like, I would say my process was a little different because of COVID. We didn't really get those games where you could get the opportunities or like really time to practice because the season was canceled. So it was rough. But just being able to see him, I'm gonna say I see a lot of myself in him. Just a kid that comes in ready to work. He asks so many questions, just wants to get better every day. And just seeing that, like, that's going to be the reason why he's going to be a great player at Penn State.
Curtis, really appreciate the time. Good luck this weekend.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Curtis.
Thank you.